Hi, thanks for joining me. It's Ray with Tarot Living. So today we are going to review the Four of Wands. So as you will recall from the previous videos, we have done the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, and now we're on the final card that's in the first astrological house of Aries. So this card sits in the final 10 degrees of the house of Aries. And the astrological attributions for the Four of Wands is Venus in Aries. So it's very different than the previous two cards. And the reason is that the Two of Wands was represented by Mars in Aries, which is Mars is a fire planet, and Aries being a fire sign was very fiery and dynamic. And the Three of Wands was Sun in Aries, and Sun is also a fire planet, we call Sun planet in astrology. And so it's also very fiery and sitting in Aries, so double fire as well. So we finally get to the Four of Wands and we have a very different energy coming in. And so Venus in Aries really kind of calms things down a little bit and creates a little bit more enjoyment and celebration than we previously saw in the Two of Wands and the Three of Wands. So Four of Wands, the first thing is that because it's Venus in Aries, let's take a look at what Venus means. So if you see Venus showing up in an astrological attribution, you know that you're looking at creativity, connection, harmony, beauty, your values, relationship. So all of those very receptive, very different, more feminine characteristics actually. And so with it sitting in Aries, in the house of Aries, we've got a very different energy coming in. And in fact, astrologically speaking, Aries and Libra, which Venus rules Libra, are opposites astrologically. And so Venus is what we call in its fall in this particular position. So not particularly well dignified. However, the good thing is that it actually is bringing in a completely different energy for this particular card than the previous two. And it really works well actually. So the Four of Wands is all about reaching a greater level of completion of your project, your goals, your business endeavors, whatever developmental path that you're particularly on. So in the Two of Wands, we saw it just at the beginning phase, and you were kind of planning your next steps to go in terms of your business plan, let's say. Three of Wands, it was a first level of completion, and certainly there was some fruits of the labor seen in the Three of Wands, but there was more to come. Four of Wands is even a greater level of completion, and it certainly is showing that the fruits of your labor and your fruits of your hard work are really now manifesting well. Fours in tarot numerologically represent something is more stable, and there's structure and some stability. It's associated with the Emperor in the major arcana, which is really all about leadership, order, structure, form, that things are solidified in some way. So with the Four of Wands, you are now seeing some, really great manifestation of your particular project or goals or efforts that you've been putting in, and you're able to reap some of those rewards. But even more than that, because it's associated with Venus, this is all about having or taking time out to actually celebrate and enjoy the fruits of the labor. So Aries is all about driving ahead and working and striving, and we certainly saw that in the Two and Three of Wands. But Four of Wands is saying, it's actually time for us to just have a little bit of a rest, have a little bit of enjoyment, and have a little bit of freedom from all the hard work, and let's actually have a celebration with regard to how far we've come. So it's kind of a dual thing. We've reached a certain level of completion and we see even more success and fruits of our labor than the Three of Wands, but it's also, let's take some time to actually celebrate that and enjoy that. And so Venus is really calling Aries to take some time out for enjoyment. So I think it's really a welcome energy at this point with this particular house of three cards. And the other thing about this particular card, the Four of Wands, is because Venus is all about connection and relationships. This is a great card if it comes up in a reading for some level of stability, because it's a 4, some level of structure or long-term stability in relationships. So this is why we see this card for long-term relationships or marriages, something that has some level of commitment to it. It can also represent celebrations, and it can represent marriages or baptisms or things along those lines. This card can also just really be relating to creating some level of harmony or negotiation. So if two people have very different viewpoints, this card can represent that you're able to bring those viewpoints together, or those, disparate viewpoints or perceptions together, and that you're able to create some level of harmony and negotiation. So those are some of the things that this card can mean. Please stay tuned and let's go through some more key words and some key phrases for this card, so that if it comes up in a reading, you will fully understand what it may mean. And while we're doing that, let's take a look at the various depictions of the Four of Wands from a variety of different decks that I have handy. Thank you for watching Tarot Living. Take care. The Four of Wands astrologically represents Venus in Aries. The planet Venus gives us a drive to unite and tells us about how we relate to others. It also speaks of our desire for harmony, creativity, sensuality, and beauty. Venus also shines its light on our values and the things that we enjoy in life, whether that be emotional or physical elements. The Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn called this card the Lord of Perfected Work. The card meaning for the Four of Wands is that it is time to celebrate the level of manifestation that you've reached, and the level of creativity that you have reached with whatever project you are working on. It's time to take a break from work and personal development in order to enjoy the rewards of your effort. This is a time of celebration and enjoyment. Venus arrives with its gentleness and receptivity, ready to embrace the joys of your accomplishment. It can depict an engagement or marriage, or a relationship that shares a deeper commitment. This card can represent the celebration or settling down with someone and developing a full life, including perhaps buying land, building a house, or developing a life together. This card shows the possibility of a relationship with stability and possibly longevity. It can also represent just positive connections with other people and the circle with which you surround yourself socially, or any celebratory energy shared amongst friends. An important element of this card is its association with the number 4. The number 4 in tarot, represented by the Emperor in the Major Arcana, speaks to stability and structure. The raw fire energy seen in the Two of Wands has been well utilized and has now produced some stable results. This card confirms that your efforts have been worthwhile and you have created a positive foundation of solidity. This card can also relate to simply creating harmony and balance with others, or can represent a negotiation or mediation that produces a positive result. It may simply suggest an agreement amongst parties. Venus softens Aries and brings forward connection, creativity, and femininity. All of the gentle qualities that are refreshing after the 2 and 3 of Wands, very assertive and fire energy. Some key phrases include positive results, solid foundation, secure home, celebration, rewards after hard work, stable relationship, domestic contentment, buying a house or land, manifestation of goals. It can refer to the completion of a phase of self-expression or development. It can symbolize ceremonies or formal celebrations such as weddings, baptisms, engagements, or other social gatherings. And it can relate to positive friendship or business connections that are beneficial. I hope this has been helpful for you to understand the meaning of the Four of Wands. Thank you for listening to Tarot Living.